Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Jason takes over Corintha's mob business. Sonny restores trust by asking huge favor. General Hospital. VHS spoilers reveal that Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, may have to step up and help Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bennard, with a dangerous problem. It's never a good idea for Sonny to leave his mob business vulnerable since that could pose a threat to his loved ones. That's why it'll be important for Sonny to appoint someone to take over for him temporarily if he lands behind bars. John Jagger Cates, Adam J. Harrington, is certainly working hard to get Sonny locked up, so what happens if he succeeds? Key spoilers say Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, is set to make an arrest in the August 2 episode, so it's possible he'll handcuff Sonny depending on what goes down. Regardless, the show's been teasing the possibility of Sonny's arrest for what feels like forever. It's reasonable to think Sonny might end up in jail, even if he doesn't stay there very long. Of course, we should also consider the fact that Sonny is suffering a major mental health crisis due to his meds getting sabotaged. Once that plot's exposed, Sonny may need a bit of a breather to get back on the right track. There are good reasons to think Sonny might have to step away from the mob business, so who will take over in his absence? It's possible Sonny will turn to Brick, Stephen A. Smith, but maybe Jason would be a better option for the sake of the story. Sonny now knows John was threatening to throw Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, in prison, and that's how he controlled Jason all this time. When Carly gave Sonny updates on that news, he was just as angry as Jason about John trying to lock Carly up. Now that the FBI's recording has disappeared, Sonny unfortunately didn't have the same celebratory reaction as Carly and the others in court. Sadly, Sonny is still dealing with some trust issues since Jason and Carly chose to leave him out of the loop. That said, Sonny may eventually have a change of heart and come to focus more on how Jason protected the mother of his child. Jason will always do his best to defend Carly and the kids, so that's what may matter most to Sonny if he's forced to hand over the mob reins for a while. Will Sonny ultimately ask Jason to take over the mob business for him on a temporary basis? Sonny may need someone to fill in while he's dealing with legal issues and trying to find some mental stability again. If Sonny turns to Jason, that would be a huge step toward re-establishing trust and could pave the way for a truly restored friendship. General Hospital spoilers say Sonny and Jason will fix their bond sooner or later, so we'll bring you more predictions on how that'll play out. The sun had barely risen over Port Charles when Jason Morgan stepped into the dimly lit office of the Corinthos compound. The tension in the air was palpable, a stark contrast to the serene morning outside. The familiar scent of leather and faint traces of cigars greeted him, bringing a wave of memories and a heavy burden that now rested on his shoulders. Jason knew this moment would come. Sonny Corinthos, his best friend and the formidable mob boss of Port Charles, had made a decision that would alter the course of their lives and the city's underworld. After a series of relentless attacks and betrayals, Sonny realized it was time to take a step back. He needed someone he could trust implicitly to maintain order and protect his family. There was no one better for the job than Jason. As Jason surveyed the room, the door creaked open, and Sonny walked in, his expression a mix of determination and resignation. Jason, he greeted, his voice steady but carrying the weight of their shared history. "It's time." Jason nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I know, Sonny. I'll do whatever it takes to keep everything in line." Sonny took a deep breath, his eyes locking with Jason's. "I've always trusted you with my life, and now I'm trusting you with my empire. But there's one more thing I need you to do for me." Jason raised an eyebrow, curious about the huge favor Sonny was about to ask. "What is it?" I need you to reach out to someone, Sonny said, his tone shifting to one of deep concern. An old ally who can help us secure our territory and provide the backup we need to fend off any threats. This person has connections and resources that can be invaluable to us right now. Jason's mind raced, trying to figure out who Sonny was referring to. Who do you have in mind? Sonny leaned against the desk, his gaze unwavering. Marcus Taggart. The name hit Jason like a freight train. Taggart, a former enemy turned reluctant ally, had always been a thorn in Sonny's side. Their history was tumultuous, marked by fierce confrontations and deep-seated animosity. But in recent years, Taggart had proven himself to be a man of honor, someone who could be trusted in dire circumstances. Taggart? Jason repeated, clearly taken aback. Are you sure about this, Sonny? We've had our differences with him. Sonny nodded, his expression resolute. I am. Taggart has retired from law enforcement and has connections that we need. He's proven himself to be a man of integrity, and right now we need every ally we can get. Jason considered the request, knowing the implications. Reaching out to Taggart would require swallowing their pride and setting aside past grievances. But if Sonny believed it was necessary, Jason would do it. All right, Jason agreed. I'll find Taggart and see if he's willing to help. Sonny's face softened with relief. Thank you, Jason. I know it's a lot to ask, but I trust you to handle this. As Jason left the compound, he couldn't shake the feeling that this decision would change everything. The road ahead was uncertain, but he was determined to navigate it with the same unwavering loyalty and determination that had defined his life. Finding Marcus Taggart was no easy task. The former detective had gone off the grid after his retirement, seeking a quieter life away from the chaos of Port Charles. It took Jason days of digging, reaching out to old contacts, and following obscure leads before he finally tracked down Taggart in a small town a few hours away. Taggart's home was modest, nestled in a quiet neighborhood far removed from the hustle and bustle of the city. Jason approached the front door, his mind racing with thoughts of how this conversation would unfold. He knocked, and after a few moments, the door opened to reveal Taggart, his expression one of surprise and curiosity. Jason Morgan, Taggart greeted, a hint of wariness in his voice. This is unexpected. Jason nodded. I know, but I need to talk to you. It's important. Taggart stepped aside, allowing Jason to enter. The interior of the house was simple and unassuming, a stark contrast to the life they had both left behind in Port Charles. They sat down, and Jason wasted no time getting to the point. Sonny needs your help, Jason began, watching Taggart's reaction closely. There have been attacks, betrayals, and he's decided to take a step back. He's asking for your assistance to secure our territory and provide backup. Taggart leaned back, his eyes narrowing as he considered the request. And why should I help Sonny Corinthos? We've had our fair share of conflicts, Jason. I know, Jason admitted. But things have changed. Sonny trusts you, and he believes you can make a difference. We need someone with your connections and resources to keep everything in check. Taggart was silent for a moment, weighing the gravity of the situation. Finally he spoke, his tone measured. I'll help, but under one condition.